January was an interesting month to start the JRPG year with a mix of holidays, a cold, going back to work, and absolutely nothing going to plan. And even though I didn't play a minute of the new release I was hoping to start the year with, I did manage to play some interesting things at least. I got to try 2 new games unexpectedly, along with continuing 2 that will likely be a staple in future JRPGs I played videos to come this year. Then I caught a cold and got stuck in the difficulty that is balancing 2 servers of 1 smartphone game, but the good news is I think I've recovered from both of those things, so I'm hoping the gaming year will be a little smoother from this point. Most importantly, I'm feeling hyped and ready to tackle the year ahead as I get working on and playing things to talk about soon. So right now, and not a moment later, let's get into the JRPGs I played in January. Despite the problems I mentioned at the start, my JRPG year actually started exactly as I'd hoped, and that was with continuing Trails to Azure as I made some good progress in its second chapter. The nature of Trails means that I only got partway through, which probably took me about 10 hours in itself, but I really enjoyed my time getting into its lore, seeing the scenes it rewarded me with when I decided to look into all of its nooks, and also just the great story as it builds in an interesting direction. I've been trying this new thing with my saves recently that has me saving after each big story quest or event rather than all the time like I used to, and from that I noticed Azure has a lot of story moments or quests that last upwards of an hour that mean I find it a little harder to commit chunks of time to than other games, as I know I need to have about an hour free to feel truly satisfied with my time with it. But the best part of Trails is how each moment always feels like it adds value to the story or an exciting twist that rewards whatever you know about its world as a whole. With that, I'm also getting this feeling recently that a lot of my time with Trails at the moment does kind of feel like a prequel to me eventually playing Trails in the Sky, as I want to keep learning more about this series. For now though, I'm determined to finish the Crossbell arc and continue to see what surprises it'll bring, so I'll be packing my Switch with me when I can to keep getting to know this world as much as possible. Trails to Azure will likely be one of the games in this video that will become a staple throughout the year, as a certain other portable game has made me realize how handy it can be to have a backlog game to carry around on the go, and I'd love to play Azure kind of like how I got through Persona 2 back in the day. Hopefully you'll look forward to hearing about my time with it, even if admittedly I haven't had much luck getting into it during February yet. With some changes to the next game I'm about to talk about though, I hope to spend more of the free time I have with Azure soon and see more of the likely big story events that will act as a cherry on top of another interesting chapter in a great game. It's easy to see on my shorts feed and on X that I've been knee-deep and beyond in Atelier Resleriana, but honestly, late January hit unmanageable levels of my time with it that is actually part of the reason why this video is as late as it is, aside from catching a cold and working full-time, because with Resleriana on top of that, I really couldn't find a point to make videos that was pretty scary at the time, but I felt like I couldn't waste my stamina in it for whatever reason that had me sinking most of my free time into it. Thankfully, some of the new features that have been put in the Japanese version recently has fixed this for me, so I feel like I'm playing at a normal pace now, and in any case, my enjoyment with it hasn't waned as I keep enjoying its systems and the daily dose of my favorite series. The beginning of January with Res just existing on the Japanese server was actually pretty fun. An event with the 2 Shelleys was up that also gave you a free unit of Lotte's mom if you've played the first part of the story, along with being able to get enough pieces to get her to 5 stars that I managed to do, and hope is the type of event they bring again in future. This was also on top of keeping up with its chapter drops too, which I got all up to date with by keeping up with my stamina needs daily and doing the 2 logins its Pi system would suggest you need to do, and I was managing to keep up with everything pretty well, at least until the English version dropped. I knew I wanted to make a video on the English version of Res, which I do still hope to do at some point, so I got into it immediately and greatly underestimated how juggling 2 lots of stamina on 2 different servers would be, especially being the kind of person who apparently can't handle just leaving unused stamina to not be refilling. This meant that pretty much for 2 weeks from the English version's release, I only played Resleriana in my free time, and while I really do still love the game, the sigh of relief I breathed a few days ago when the Japanese version added a kind of stamina bank feature that keeps restoring even when your stamina is full made me realize I had also slightly descended into madness, as I couldn't get much done at all outside of keeping up with the servers. This feature has fixed this for me both mentally and mechanically, and so in both servers I'm going in and doing my dailies very quickly once a day unless I'm actually playing or seeing story that feels so much better and more enjoyable, especially since the times I want to play now, I'm playing because I want to and not just because I feel like my stamina's gonna go. I guess it goes to show how active and time-consuming these more service-based games can be, especially in a series that is often about making the most of resources that I think I extended a little too far into the way I was thinking about it. I hope this stamina bank hits the English version sooner rather than later to help everyone get the most out of their time with it soon, especially since I felt like I had the most fun with Res recently in its latest event, and that would be good with events coming soon in the English version. This is the other game you'll likely see in the staples parts of JRPGs I played throughout this year, as I'll be keeping up with both servers just on a more manageable level these days. I do still really enjoy its battles of raising units in the ranks of my areas to gather in, and just finished the Japanese server's Esker event with time to spare that makes me happy to feel like I have a good balance between enjoying this game and now getting videos up again too. I hope everyone is still enjoying this game and hope we see the two servers catch up to each other or get to the point where everyone has seen some of the cute story side events like the Salberg one coming tomorrow, and I look forward to talking about it more soon as it's still very much a part of my daily life, but in a much healthier once a day kind of way. Before the English release of Resleriana, I was offered codes for two games that looked interesting that I accepted and was pleasantly surprised by, and while I didn't complete either of them in full, they both have comfy places in my backlog as fun silly games I hope to get to when I'm looking for some lighthearted JRPG fun. One of them was Neptunia Sisters vs. Sisters, which I briefly mentioned last month when I talked about the interesting releases in January I thought I wouldn't have time for, so when a code came my way, I was very happy to accept it to check it out even just a little. Since I haven't played Neptunia in years since trying its spin-off Producing Perfection, many things about it made me remember why I want to spend more time with this series. The girls teasing each other was refreshingly humorous after playing some more serious games, and I also loved that it was fully voiced, complete with the same cast I remembered from Producing Perfection that gave me a small tickle of nostalgia I wasn't expecting that had me more keen to spend time with it. I was a little concerned about how it would run on Switch after the Death End Request 2 port for it, but whether it's because I haven't tried any other version, this one seemed fine from what I played, and the active combat even looked kind of interesting with its character switching and fast-paced movement that made it feel fun, even if it's not the slickest combat experience I've had on the system. All in all, my time with Sisters vs. Sisters reminded me that this is a fun series I want to spend more time with, so I'm really glad to have been able to try it and hope to spend more time with it when I get time to dive into my backlog after other things. I was also offered another interesting game to check out, which was Yuuna in the Haunted Hot Springs: The Thrilling Maze Kiwami, a roguelike JRPG that was completely off my radar in terms of what was coming out in January, and not usually one I try since I don't know the anime it came from. However, I do like a good roguelike and thought from its trailer it looked like the exact kind I like to mix with a silly story, so I was happy to be able to receive a PS5 code to check it out and was surprised with how much I enjoyed it. While it's easy to see it might suffer from some of the imperfections occasionally found in Food.io titles, such as its text maybe not being the sharpest to look at, like other Food.io games, it gets past this with charm, with likely the same silly dialogue as the anime crossing over to this game as it tells its new story episode. Mix this with easy to pick up gameplay for anyone else who likes roguelikes to make it fun, with all the usual throwing and use of corridors and walls to manage enemies, but also with fun elements like the costumes you can pick up to see what Yuuna would look like in them, along with getting them as new equipment, and all these things together made this feel like a game I could really enjoy if I got into it. It's introduced this anime to me for the first time, and the dialogue was fun enough, so I hope to check out the show more before playing this game again. It's a kind of pleasant surprise in my gaming time that I hope hits my February time too, as these two experiences were definitely ones I wouldn't have picked up myself, but helped my JRPG time be that little bit richer in January. Since my January ended on a more messy note with my Resleriana server juggling, as of this week, life feels a little smoother, which is why this video is getting done. Since I was still getting things together, this meant I wasn't at all ready for the launch of Persona 3 Reload when it came out, and as you've seen, I still haven't gotten to Like a Dragon 2 either, so they're the first things I'm adding to my list of games I hope to get to by the end of the year. But there's still plenty of time in the year as I get a grip on my time, with one game this month being one I definitely wouldn't want to miss. Final Fantasy VII Remake and Crisis Core were two of my favorite games over the past year, so naturally I'm counting down the days until Rebirth's core release date of February 19th. I was hoping to get to the Yuffie DLC before it came out, but at this point I'm just happy it's looking like I'll have the chance to tackle a new release at all, and I have high hopes for this one, so I hope it meets them, and we'll be sure to talk about it and look forward to seeing what you guys think of it too, as one of the many big releases this month. As for other releases, Trails of Cold Steel 3 and 4 also got PS5 releases this month that I've received, as I want to check out how these versions appear compared to the PS4 originals. I do hope to do a full video on that, although I fear I'm getting more ideas of videos to make than I can fit into a month, with the fact I also want to make one on the English version of Resna, and even though it's very late, one talking about my favorite games of last year as well, so I don't want to commit to anything officially in this video, but I would like to spend a bit more time making videos to share with you guys. But for now, it's the end of another video that I'm super glad to have gotten around to making at all, and hope you all enjoyed as much as I know I'm going to enjoy getting it out. As usual, I hope you're all having a great time with whatever you're playing, whether it's new or old, or whether you've taped your wallet shut, because there are so many good things coming out. And in any case, I hope we all have fun in February with the many good things there are to play. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below what you played last month and what you plan to play this month. You can like and share this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel for more JRPG content like this, and ring that bell to get notifications on whenever I post so you don't miss a thing. You can check out more videos here, and you can find me on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at JRPG Jungle. Links to those will be in the description below, and until next time, thank you, bye!